few Ghanaians were surprised when President Nana Akufo-Addo pledged that he would fulfill his campaign promise to fight graft. But what's caught their attention was his appointment this year of an opposition stalwart to the newly created role of Special Prosecutor of corruption cases. The establishment of the anti-graft office headed by former Attorney General Martin Amidu is among a string of measures that Akufo-Addo, 74, has taken to bolster the cocoa and gold-rich West African nation that was weighed down for years by power outages, state bureaucracy and pervasive corruption. Since he assumed office last year, Ghana has become one of Africa's star economic performers, recording 8.5% growth in 2017 after hovering around 4% in the 3 preceding years. While that success is partly tied to a surge in oil and agricultural output, Akufo-Addo, a lawyer, has earned widespread praise for his energetic approach and bold political statements. The Ghanaian electorate used to be quite cynical about government. Promises are made but when they get to office they won't do anything, said Kwasi Preba, executive director of the Center for Democratic Development, a policy think tank in the capital, Accra. There's a clear effort and commitment from this president to follow through on promises. Corruption probe so far, the highest profile investigation has been of the former chief executive officer of the nation's cocoa regulator, Stephen Apuni, who's alleged to have influenced the award of contracts worth $65.8 million to supply fertilizer. In March, he was charged with causing financial losses to the state, an accusation he denies. Other cases include the former CEO of a state-run microfinance fund and at least 5 ex-ministers who may have received a double salary under the previous government. Last week, Akufo-Addo suspended 4 high court judges in connection with bribery allegations. It's in all our interest that corruption does not thrive, and we police each other's behavior, Akufo-Addo said in a speech as the nation celebrated Independence Day in March. It will mean we all pay our taxes, and it will mean we all help to take care of government property as though it were our own. Bloated government. Some of Akufo-Addo's decisions misfired. He appointed an administration of 110 ministers and deputies, rewarding loyalists with all the top jobs. The government is the largest in the nation's history and almost 3 times the size of the ministerial team in Nigeria, whose population is more than 6 times bigger. An agreement for closer military cooperation with the U.S. triggered street protests earlier this year. And few analysts expect him to be able to deliver on a promise to create a factory in each of Ghana's 216 districts, a plan Mahibo Khan, Africa analyst at risk consultancy Verisk Maplecroft, considers overly ambitious. While Akufo-Addo has got off to a promising start, she said, some of his success may be down to good fortune. To a great extent, Nana is in the right place at the right moment, as higher oil prices and hydrocarbon output are revitalizing the economy. Khan said. Power shortages to make the administration more efficient. The government has introduced a nationwide digital address system and a compulsory tax identification number for Ghanaian citizens. It's also planning to sell stakes in Ghana's power generation utility following almost 3 years of planned power outages that left homes and businesses with as little as 48 hours of electricity a week, a dearth so acute it became the object of songs and comedy. Yet it's the president's political views that have resonated most, especially with social media users across Africa. Once derided by opponents for his polished British accent and privileged upbringing, Akufo-Addo told an audience that included French President Emmanuel Macron that Africa should stop relying on handouts and aspire to become a continent that can give aid to other places. The speech has attracted more than 2.7 million views on YouTube. Akufo-Addo is a sign of Ghana's political aristocracy. His father Edward was a member of a group of political activists who led Ghana to independence from Britain in 1957, and his portrait is printed on the national currency. time will tell whether his government can maintain the momentum, said Prempa. The honeymoon will soon be over and people will begin to expect real deliverables on some of the key flagship promises. Job creation is still a huge one, he said. If at the end of the second year there are no clear signs that there's action in that direction, some of that goodwill might evaporate.